I'm back, and it's been a minute. It's been, I don't know what, like 5 months since the last time I've been on here just speaking to you guys face to face. But I'm back now. Um, Although don't act like I've been just not doing shit. I've been dropping lyric videos every month. The album's out. Shorts channel is going there. So, I haven't been just nowhere. But if y'all want to know what I've been up to, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video for that. Because if you've been following my socials, you'll be in the know already. But for this video right here, I'm making it for one reason and one reason only, and that is to just go into the creative process behind my new album, Thunderous Lover Strikes Again. Because I feel I'm at the end of its like promo cycle, I guess. I'm ready to move on to giving you all more music. So I thought this would be a nice way to kind of like bookend, the chapter. And of course, it's not like a date set thing. Who knows what other kind of pieces I'll come up with. I'll come up with, based off that album. But let me get straight into things. So the title, Thunderous Lover Strikes Again. So back in the day, when I started listening to just like more kinds of music, I would say this was like 2010, 11-ish. Discovered Childish Gambino, and then for those who don't know the backstory behind his name, there's this Wu-Tang name generator thing where you kind of put your name in and it gives you like a rap name, but like what that name would be if you were in the Wu-Tang clan. So that's how he got his name. So I was like, shit. Like I already had Jimi Priceless at the time, but I was like, just for fun, let's see what happens. So then the answer or the name it spat out was Thunderous Love, and I thought it was just kind of funny. So I'm like, now bet I'm gonna use this. And then I dropped a project that was like these kind of like, I won't say love songs, but like shoot your shot kind of music. So I did that in like 2014. So I was always like, it was always in the back of my mind, like I gotta go back into it, like jump back into that kind of style of music or that like persona. So then in 2019 I dropped Return of the Thunderous Lover, which had its own sound. So the first one I did in 2014, that was just like rap shit. The 2019 one, that's more like, old school, like pop inspired, like synth, or synths on there, and like, just kind of dancey. So you can check out that one, and come with a name for it style that's probably more well worded than I'm doing right now. But then though, for this one album, every 5 years I jump back into it. So 2024 was time to get back to it, and that's how the title came about. Thunderous Love Strikes Again. And to tie into that, just to comment on the music or the production side of things, I would say since 2020, maybe 2021, I discovered, like alt music, which is like alternative Afro beats, like the drum like patterns and stuff similar, but just the instruments used, and I'll just say the soundscapes are slightly a bit more electronic leaning. Not necessarily, but from what I've heard and what I was, gravitating towards to it was more, a bit more synths and pads and that kind of thing combined with like the live instruments. So that's where I was, with the sound of what I wanted to do for this specific Thunderous Lover installment. So got to work on the beats last year, May, last year June, July. That's usually when I make my beats. Um, so that's when the beats were made, knocked out 30 of them over the course of those 2 months, and then picked the 10 for the album. So there was stuff that I thought was really good but didn't fit like the theme or the vibe I was going to, and then those became singles like No Penalty and Smoke are examples where it's like not the sound I was trying to do for the year, but I just liked them so much I had to like execute on them and make them full songs. So yeah, that's the production side of things. Then we move over to the the songwriting, the lyrics. Like I said, with it being a Thunderous Lover album or project, it was gonna be, like shoot your shot vibes, Although I think the journey or the trajectory of this one is a bit different, and it's kind of like where my own life kind of bleeds into it. Because if I had to compare the two, um, the 2019 Thunderous Lava project, that was a lot more, or I was a lot more, kind of like starry eyed, kind of like naive, kind of just like, oh, loving the relationships. Oh, it's gonna be so great, kind of like aspirational almost in a sense. Whereas this one is like, once you've been through it, once you've been through the ringer, once you experience the ups and downs of that, your perspective is, I won't say jaded, but you're definitely not as just willing to just jump into it, with your eyes closed. So that's why if the first track's name is This Time, and it's like, I'm gonna do it different this time, I'm in a different space this time, and I would say the focus was still like, obviously, shoot to shot kind of love songs kind of vibe, but overall, I was like, still, I'm the star of the show over here, I'm the one. I'm like the main player over here, and everything else just revolves around me instead of how the last 100 is level one was. So it was more like, I'm trying to, it's like the person or whoever that I'm directing the songs to is kind of like the main character, and I'm just, the songs are like, well, the songs were like, like theme songs to my like approach to them. But this one is kind of like, nah, I'm the star of the show, yeah. Um, and even with like New Groove, that's like where um, you kind of get this feeling of like, nah, this dude's been through some shit. Especially if you listen to like the second verse, it's a bit more harsh. It's a bit less like castles in the sky about things. It's a bit more like chip on my shoulder about things. So overall, I felt like it was a good balance of like what I wanted to do and then what like my actual life experience was influencing at the time. But for the most part, a lot of the songs are simple in structure. We're just going straight verse hook, two verses, we're done. With the exception, of course, songs like I'm trying to get a fee, which is just one verse in the middle, and Confetti, which had like two regular verses, then a longer extended verse. So I still wanted to play around with things and kind of use the sound that I'm going for, but put my spin on it and my take on it, and just make every song kind of as fresh as possible because with like the alter genre or Afrobeats in general, like it's a very like once you know one kind of songs or one or two songs, you'll be familiar with most of the other songs you hear from that genre. So with that in mind, I wanted to make this album like really cohesive, but still give you all some like detours that's a bit more out there than others. So that's where you get songs like Show, where it's like that's kind of like guitar kind of energy. It's giving real like almost like old school emo vibes, but let me see what I can do with it, give you all a different feel. So that's writing wise how things came together. Um, and I didn't have like a lot of like stuff ready because sometimes I'll have like a notepad. I mean, a notes document or notes app on in the notes app where I'll have like just 7 8 ideas and then I'll just start putting them together. But with this one, not as much. So a lot of it was like in the moment, especially coming up with melodies, which was probably the hardest part of writing this album. Like because lyrically, like I got bars for days. It don't matter the topic, I can skit the cargo, yeah. But lyrically, coming up with melodies that fit or that are kind of catchy, but then also fit with what's already working on the beat and not clashing with it. And deciding when to just sit back and keep things simple. That was kind of like those learning curve moments, which I did have on the 2019 Thunderous Lover project, but because this was a complete different sound and a complete different flow of things, it was still like you know, going from dipping my toes into it to actually being like comfortable and like, okay, I got this. So the writing process took, I would say, 2 weeks because every day I just write 4 beat, and a lot of the times, like whatever I wrote the first time is more or less what the end sounds like, and then other times, as once it comes to the recording process and you actually hearing what you wrote on beat and like you in that different space of just creating, that's when like some changes were made. But overall, a lot of the stuff was like the first idea to me was the best idea. And like I didn't want to complicate things. Even if you look at the track lengths, I was like, let's just keep shit simple. It just because we just vibing on this one. Because I feel like compared to my last two albums, this was a lot lighter, and I felt it was needed. Especially after the last album, Kram. If y'all tapped into that album, y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's when I was just like, I don't want to think, I don't want to process nothing. We're just vibing on this one. It's kind of like, in a sense, like wishful thinking. Like if I put out this good vibes project, hopefully I'll manifest them in my life. So yeah, that's why I just keep things simple. Like that's just got to feel like a good vibe. Keep a couple cool lines in there, and we're good to go. With, of course, the usual upwards trajectory of things on all my albums. Like, it'll always go like from a bit, I would say, not negative, but a bit more darker. It goes from dark to light in terms of mood, and this one's the same. If you listen to the way the album goes, like with Confetti being like this big, like celebratory thing, right at the end, or the second last song rather, and then I ended with Fine, so it's all good, Even after this time, a new group is a bit more like, who was this guy? Um, at the end, I was like, let me just let y'all know it's all fine. So that's why I put that track at the end. And I think in general, for some reason, like the biggest sounding song, like to me, Confetti sounds like a big song. There's a lot going on it. I always make that the second last song. And I've been thinking about it, and I think it's like if I had to lay it out as a movie, it's like you have the big climax at the end, but then there's just this short, like, warm down period that just leads into the credits. So I think that's why I always have a song after like the biggest sounding song. Um, at least that's how it's been. The future, we don't know what's happening. But anything else I can mention about it? The artwork is basically the same artwork. From 2014, I just changed the text, but it's the same style. The black background with just the small like um, letters at the bottom with white in the red. So yeah, it was basically just a continuation of the Thunderous Lover story. Show where he's at. If I had to give it like its own existence, as a separate entity. But yeah, that's it for that album. You guys already know. I know what the next album is. I know what the album after that is. I know what the album after that album is. So yeah, you guys already know I'm working. And like I said, I wanted to just wrap up this kind of like promo run for Thunderous Lover Strikes Again, because new music's done. Just submitted it to DistroKid. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys keep listening to the album though, like for the rest of the year or even long. But just know, new shit's on the way. I'm still like kind of this level vibe, still that kind of like, shoot your shot music. But I'll say this one's a bit more different, it's not exactly like Alte, or it kind of is, but wait till it comes out and you'll hear it. It'll be out August 12th. So yeah. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing my face once again. The hair's still growing. I'm still out here, getting more handsomer. Just we're just on the up and up over here. But yeah. So I'm out. If y'all want any further videos from me speaking, let me know in the comments, because I never really had in the space any ideas for them, just because I was focusing so much on getting the lyric videos done. But if you guys have any suggestions, anything y'all want me to talk about, anything y'all want to know, drop your suggestions down in the comments and I'll be back for another one. But for now, I'm out.